Cities are being destroyed. Cities are being completely wiped out. Residents are being told to evacuate, leave their homes, leave the only thing that they've ever known. Leave family, leave friends. Cities are completely going away. But why? What is happening here? Well, what I can tell you is in the most recent disaster, and this is something that nobody wants you to know, and I'm going to explain what's happening and how this is going to impact you. But in the most recent disaster, we saw Lahaina was completely destroyed. 115 people lost their lives, and hundreds more people have been unaccounted for. But why? What's happening? Well, that's what I'm going to explain in today's video. All I ask is if you like these daily updates and you like being told what is actually going on and seeing the reports, not from mainstream media, things that they will never cover, make sure you go ahead, hit the like button on this video. Also click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. But here's what's happening. The reason why Lahaina was destroyed is the exact same reason why we saw those wildfires in Oregon back in 2020. It's the exact same reason that caused the 2021 Marshall Fire in Colorado. And this is the exact same reason why we're seeing Pacific Gas and Electric, why they were pleaded guilty for involuntary manslaughter in the 2018 California campfires. So what is this? What's happening? Well, what's going on, and this is something that mainstream media doesn't want you to know. This is something that the current administration doesn't want you to know. This is something that your utility company does not want you to know either. The reason why we're seeing more of these wildfires is because of aging and fragile power lines and poles. That's what experts are now telling us. That the reason why we're seeing all this stuff happening right now is because we have aging infrastructure. And unless we fix that, unless we start to spend some money and update our infrastructure, this is going to be a reoccurring thing. Now, right now, with the current conditions that we have with our infrastructure, with the drought conditions that we do have, and on top of that, high winds across the United States, well, experts say this is a recipe for disaster. And this is what caused the issue, the fire, the devastation, the catastrophe, whatever you want to call it, in Lahaina. This is the reason why 115 people to date have lost their lives. But what are we going to do about it? Well, this is what nobody wants you to know. Nobody wants you to know what is actually happening because they don't have an answer for it. The expectation is that we are going to continue to see cities get completely decimated. They're going to be wiped out because of our aging infrastructure. In a time when the Biden administration wants us to have clean energy. What we know is that cities, counties, and the federal government, they don't have the money to update 100% of our infrastructure. We don't have the money. And we're not going to be getting it anytime soon. So what do? Well, as a result of everything that's been going on, experts are anticipating that these catastrophes are going to continue. These are going to decimate the United States, and your city could be gone very soon. Now, I'm not here to tell you that, everything's going to be okay. I'm not here to tell you the sky is falling either. I'm here to just inform you of what's currently going on and what people are not telling us. Now, what can we do about this? How can we fix this? Or better yet, what should we expect? Well, what can we do about it? Us, personally, there's not a lot that we can do. What is going to happen? Well, I don't know that. I wish I could tell you. What should we expect? That's the next question, and I can give you an answer on that one. First off, the federal government could start to invest more to update our infrastructure, our power infrastructure. Will they do that? Probably not. Should they? Of course. But at the same time, this is the same debate that we have every single year, is how much money should go towards infrastructure. We should do a big infrastructure bill. Well, it was very difficult to pass that, 1 or 2 years ago. I think it's going to be very difficult to pass another one. So what's going to happen is the burden is going to fall on the residents of the city, the state, and really the residents in the United States. all citizens. Now, just to give you an idea, in order to update our power infrastructure, it's going to result in a very high bill on your end. The reason for that is because we are the ones paying for this. The federal government will jump in and pay for some of the infrastructure, but it's not enough. It's a very small fraction of what it actually takes. So who pays for the updated power lines? Who pays for new poles? Well, it's us. It's the consumer, the customer. If you pay for the utilities, you pay for your utility bill, there's going to be a surcharge on there. And that's what you're going to pay every single month so that we can get new power lines. We can get new power poles. We can get everything updated. It's going to take billions and billions of dollars. Now, currently, according to recent reports, we wouldn't have to double the construction, okay? We'd have to double the rate of construction right now just to get to the pretty much Biden's climate goals. So the expectation is we are not going to come close. But what are we going to see? Well, here's what I know. Building new power lines is a very, very difficult task. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. The reason why it takes a lot of time is not necessarily because you have to go and construct everything and put up the new poles and get all the people hired. No, that's not what takes time. The thing that takes the most time is the negotiation process, the agreement, the contract. And this is why experts are telling us that we should expect additional power line wildfires, because nobody's going to step up. Nobody's going to agree 100% on the next step. Here's what I mean. In order to start to build, update our infrastructure, you got to get agreement from all stakeholders. That includes the utility company. That includes any regulators. That includes contractors, landowners. You have to have 100% agreement across the board. That is very unlikely to get even 2 out of those 4 to agree on something. But when you gotta get 4 out of 4, that is almost downright impossible. So, what does this mean? Well, as you can imagine, getting all these people to agree on one single thing is not going to be an easy task. This is also the reason why experts believe that these power line induced wildfires are going to be more and more common. But at the same time, if they're going to be more and more common, what does that mean? It means we should be prepared for additional wildfires. We should be prepared. And we hear this all the time that, oh, Texas, people in the South, you're going to struggle. You're going to lose power because it's too hot. It's too cold. It's too windy. All these things matter. So I just wanted to keep you up to date on what's happening at this time because, again, nobody wants you to know this. Nobody's telling you this. Have you heard from your utility company where they tell you, well, you know what, we're probably going to have to raise our rates a little bit because, well, we need to update our power lines. Need to update the power poles. It's too windy. They're getting knocked over. I've seen it here where I live. I've seen power lines, the wood is just rotting. Just rotting away. And the power poles are probably going to go down if we get a wind of 50, 60 mile an hour winds. It's going to go down. I live in Washington State. I don't live in the South. Where we have extremely high winds. But it's starting to get a little bit windy here. We're starting to see more and more wind. So, experts are telling us to be ready because, again, cities could be wiped out all because we don't have the right power lines and the right power poles. So, if you've experienced this, if you've seen this, if you know exactly what I'm talking about, where power poles are just toppling over, power lines are almost touching the ground, they're hanging so low, they're touching the ground, let me know. Comment down in the comment section below. Also, let me know where that is at, because I would love to do some more research and figure out what is going on and which utility companies are stepping forward and planning to do something about this. But again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.